Okay. All right. So we will have, we will be studying a quality management plan in today's session. So if you look at page 2, we have a plan quality management. That's the process. You apply the quality matrices, all right, and then you manage quality as well. Um, then you go down to manage and control, similar to what you would do in a project, and then you validate scope. So quality is directly, and then you have the project integration um, coming into play with all the deliverables and work in progress and stuff like that. And then you validate scope, and we'll be studying that in detail further. So what's the quality? Quality is the degree to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfill requirements. All right, so it's about setting up standards. It's about um, meeting quality industry benchmarks. It's about meeting quality standards, right? So ISO 9000 series, for example, and they get revised every 12 months. And in Europe's perspective, you know, if you ever seen a phone or an electronics product, you'll see a CE, Certified Europe symbol in the back. Yeah. CE is the European standard, right? ISO is more about America. Yes, it's global, but Certified Europe, right? Every electronics product that was being manufactured in Asia, or you know, or even in China nowadays, it has to have a CE. If you want to sell it, you have to sell it in Europe. You have to meet European standards. So, moving on to page 5, right? Quality standards and regulations. Standard documents that establish. Okay, let me pause you. How do I pause you? All right. All right. Moving on to the quality standards and regulations. Standards. All right. What's the standard? Standard
Document
is a
establishing
document,
some
right?
law.
Yeah. 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 It's the absolute benchmark, as we just spoke about. ISO 9000 series, Certified Europe series, right? Even Asian countries manufacturing different kind of industry products, they have certain standards, right? Regulations. Regulations are there to implement those standards, to make sure those standards are actually applied onto those manufacturers, right? De facto regulations. All right. De facto regulations are regulations that are widely accepted, adapted throughout the use, right? ISO 9000 series, as I said to you, it's a quality system that can be applied to any product, any services. For example, lawyer providing a service, an engineer providing a service, a doctor providing a service. They have to meet a certain level of standard. And ISO is obviously, as I said to you earlier, Certified Europe, Europe specific. You know, ISO is global. It applies everywhere, right? Quality management plan and project management perspective. It's part of the project. As I said to you, as we said earlier, the umbrella of project management plan is a part of the project management plan that describes how policies, procedures, guidelines will be implemented. As I said, it's quality. How would you manage quality in a project, right? You're building a 40-story building. You have to have a certain quality or quality of service or quality of expertise, whether it's service you're providing, whether it's facilities you're providing, whether it's in the base comms raiser, sorry. You have the elevators. It's the quality of the foundation of that building. How would you set it up and manage it? And quality is an ongoing. You have to monitor. It goes all the way to project closure. It's not a one-off. It's consistent. It runs parallel with project activities and WBS. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here's slide 7. The quick flowchart of quality management process. Plan quality management, as I said to you. Then you have manage quality, right? You quality reports that get generated. You have control quality, and at the very end, you validate the scope. And scope baseline in any project that has quality is a major integral component. All right. I'm building a bridge, for example. I'm the engineering company, hypothetically speaking. I'm building a bridge for the government. I take over the contract, right? I describe my quality standards to them. This is the quality. The bridge is going to be able to hold this much traffic or weight or volumes every day, right? This is the buffer. This is how much leverage, whether it's earthquake resistance, whether it's flood resistance, right? What quality of materials I'm putting in. That all becomes a part of the scope. And as the scope gets extended, what happens? Cost and time. The cost goes up. As the scope goes up, cost goes up. As you increase the quality, the scope gets increased, the cost and time it takes to get the job done that gets increased as well. Page 8. Quality management plan. Again, it's the activities and resources. It's a review. So you constantly review the quality management plan. The benefits of doing it, you were able to make the decision on accurate information, whether a certain standard of quality is being met, cost reductions, right? If you have the quality of a certain product, when you reduce the cost, right? In every project, you have to deliver on time, on cost as well. Whether reducing the cost would mean reducing the project, compromising in quality as well. How would you manage that as well? This is how you mitigate the schedule overrun. When you spend too much time on one column building a bridge, how are you supposed to finish the rest as well? But at the same time, you have to make sure you don't jump the gun. This is the whole balance of it, managing cost and quality at the same time. So quality, cost, two adverse things, two sides of a weight scale. You know what I mean? So cost goes up, quality, vice versa. Cost of quality. Cost of quality is very important, as I was just saying, is all costs incurred over the life of the product by investments in preventing non-conformance to requirements. Appraisal of the product or service to conformance to requirements and failure to meet the requirements. What if the bridge is not built to the standard? What if one of the columns collapse while the bridge is operational? What will happen to me as an organization who's just built it? I'll be out of business in no time. I'll be pulling my hair out, paying for those claims, right? Paying for those claims by the government, for example, or the users. I'll be out of business. I'll have to. You know how much it costs you as an organization, right? Speaking of quality standards, it costs you to serve one claim. 1989 Toyota Corolla product recall. The pedal stopped working, the brake pedal, right? Toyota had to go and borrow money from the bank to pay for those claims. They almost went out of business. But just because their operations were very lean, just because they're very, very lean and Six Sigma oriented company, they survived. What happened to General Motors and Chrysler when they had product recalls in 1990? They went bankrupt, remember? 1993, financial crisis, they went bankrupt. 2007 and 8, global financial crisis, credit crisis, and housing crisis. GM, Chrysler, and Ford, all three went bankrupt. Not just because of the claims, just because what's happening around it. Have you ever heard Toyota or Honda going bankrupt? No. Why? Because they are very good at managing their quality. Toyota, even if they manufactured 1 million cars, only 3.4 defective units are produced, hypothetically. 1 million. Very hard to achieve. Very, very hard to achieve. But they've done it. All right. Sampling is a concept where you have to identify quality issues, right? You're cooking a bowl of rice in a rice cooker. You're not going to have to eat the whole rice to find out whether they cooked or not. You only take a spoon, right? That's called sampling. You take a spoon, test it with the rice is done. All right. So this same applies on the project management. The approach that provides similar results and reduces the cost of quality. If you sample, you detect early. You take the sample, you detect early, right? And you fix early, reducing the cost of the whole project. Are you with me?
Yes.
I know you took a bit of a break, so I just don't want to bombard all the information on you, but I will make sure that I'll go slow so you understand. But stop me if I'm going too fast, okay? All right,
Okay.
Marina, what else we've got? We've got page 14, quality matrices. Quickly, I'll touch on it, a description of a project or a product attribute and how to measure it. The matrices, the guidelines, the absolute standards that you have to maintain before you can't go above that, it'll be gold plating. You can't go below that, it'll be underserving. You'll be compromising quality as well. What is my tolerance? All right. What is my tolerance? The quantified description of acceptable variation for quality. What if the quality goes up building at that bridge column? If I go 5% or 10% in my threshold for the amount of weight the bridge can take, whether this is the column gonna hold? Right? Is the customer's gonna be accepting that threshold? There's always a threshold for quality. Nothing's perfect. You can't get everything perfect, especially on a large scale operation such as automotive manufacturing, as I just mentioned, right? That's why you do audit. Quality audit is a structured, independent process to determine if the project activities comply with the organization's project policies, procedures, and standards. OPA. Am I doing everything right? Banking audit, finance audit, is everything on track? Everything matches up, reconciled, right? This is what it's all about. Are you with me?
Good.
So it's going to
Yes.
be a relatively brief one. So I'm happy that we'll be able to finish in 40 minutes or less, probably less. Then, okay, how the audits are conducted for quality, yeah? To improve quality performance of the project, yes, of course. The topics are, what is my quality management policy as an organization? What is the collection and use of information? Different analytical methods. This is not very important. This is textbook stuff. Nothing. When we do the real questions, which we do hopefully in the next second or third session, how's your roadmap going? How many topics you've got to go on that roadmap? Bear with me. We'll get to that. Yeah. Alrighty. So we'll get to that roadmap, right? So manage quality outputs, right? When you manage quality, when you have the verification, you have identification, suggest potential improvements because you've done the sampling and audit early. You provide feedback of any variances to the standards we agreed to, and you identify potential approaches to cure defects or other non-compliance, right? Again, quality management, typical stuff. Bear with me. Page 23. Are you on it? Control quality tools.
Yes, tools.
All right. The way you would control quality, the way you would measure. and do use sampling. Obviously, it's all database, right? So data gathering. Data gathering, you have the checklist or check sheet, right? Have you ever seen an engineer walking around a production facility with a checklist to see, or even a pilot, service industry, right? Before the pre-flight check, they have a whole list. I think it's about 200 plus items on it. Flaps check, fuel check, yeah, right? The whole list of things they have to do. It's called data gathering, checklist, right? Sampling. They take a sample of fuel from the aircraft, run it through the machine, whether it's up to that standard, whether this can fly, it's not going to break down halfway through. Questionnaires and surveys. That's on a broader scale when you have when you get feedback from the customers where they've had turbulence in a certain weather, very, very complex, right? But then you need data. Then you analyze that data. Performance review. Yes, a pilot obviously has a performance review, whether they've done all the checks, whether they've met all the standard IATA aviation requirements. And if they drop the ball, what is that root cause? RCA, extremely important, right? When you do the questions, Marina, you have to do the RCA for each and every question you get it wrong. Why did we get it wrong? Is the logic behind what I studied is not clear? And then if you do the RCA for a certain topic or a certain question, you're not going to get it wrong again because you would have gone to the bottom of the root cause of to say, why did I get it wrong? Is my concept clear? If it's not clear, what do I have to do to try and fix it? Yes?
Yes.
All right, data representation. Again, cause and effect diagram. Can I ask you a question? What's the cause and effect diagram? It's directly with the RCI. Root cause analysis. RCA, fishbone diagram. My God. This is the root. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Root cause. Cause one, we studied in the last session. Cause two, three, four. Obviously, these causes would have contributed to the root cause of the problem. It's also called Ishikawa or a fishbone or RCI. Three different names to it. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, histograms. We studied in last session. Scatter diagram, not important. RCI, cause and effect diagram, very, very important. Okay. There might well and truly be a question about Ishikawa root cause diagram or cause and effect diagram in the exam as well. Data gathering, how would you gather the data, right? Questionnaires and surveys. Checklist, as we said. Questionnaires and surveys. Questionnaires from the customers, from the staff, the employees, right? Statistical sampling. We studied the sampling earlier. Sampling process. It involves diving, sampling data. This is page 27.
Okay. Sampling process.
Yeah. So it involves diving, sampling data into two categories, attribute and variable, each of which is guaranteed according to the sampling plan, right? But then again, not important. The exact scatter diagram is the way to represent the data. Where does which fall? That's page 35. Where does this fall into which sampling, which data category, right? This is one of those charts you can make in Excel, right? This is also scatter diagram. Representation. You can use histogram to represent the problems and their trajectory. And, if you identify a problem in the early stage, all right, so what impact that could have had if you didn't actually interrupt and fix your quality issues? What cost variable? How would have been the cost hike, right? How frequently did this happen, right? Does it define the root cause? If there is root cause, let's stop and address it before we move on, because cost could actually explode if we didn't fix it. If we didn't fix, okay, just to give you an example, Colombia, yeah? Colombia,
Yes.
not a country, not a state. Colombia, the space shuttle.
The brand. The shuttle.
Yeah. Huge product. Takes decades for NASA to build it, right? All right. Did it come down? It came down because, it's a 40-story building, right? This space shuttle that goes into space. It's got 3 rocket boosters, right? A piece of foam this big was left connected to the ceramic tile. When the engine's heat is thousands of degrees, right? The way it caught fire, because the ceramic tile, because at that temperature and friction, and when they come down, sort of friction it faces, any quality metal will melt, right? That's why they use ceramics in the wings, so they don't catch fire. A piece of foam as big as a small briefcase was left in the wing. It caught fire and the whole project, everyone died, all 6 astronauts. Speaking of quality, right? One small mistake. And the NASA's project manager, who was a part of that project, he's working, I think he's dead now, got his name, but he ended up working in a Thai restaurant for the rest of his life. Why? Because one small mistake, the whole project was shambles. Not to mention all the embarrassment it caused NASA or the U.S. government, for example, because they go hand in hand. Russia, but now China and India into the market, right? Page 40, we studied the journey of quality earlier. So for page 46, can we do a couple of questions before we wrap this one up?
Yeah.
You wanna, and I will give you 5 minutes to go and get a glass of water. I'll grab my cup of coffee so I'm ready for the next procurement session, which is slightly longer than this one, right? So last line first, yeah? Oh, this is a single line question. Explain why a project manager would want to build the quality into the processes of the project. Okay? Why would you implement quality measures? Obviously, to eliminate the margin of errors, to reduce the cost, right? To make sure the project runs on time. For example, you're building a 40-story building, you get a poor quality concrete. Would you, a concrete block, for example, you do the testing and say, okay, it's not up to the standard. All right, the timeline increased for the project. The timeline, the exploded timeline, that could delay the project. That could, obviously, you're paying the resources, so it's costing you by the hour, right? If you don't get the right quality, if you don't get it right in the first step, right? So this is the explanation of why to build quality into the process is very important.
And actually, the whole process actually depends on that. It's
exactly.
one of the most important things, one of the most important pillars.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to get the foundation right. All right, so into the question format. Last line first, yeah? I won't be asking you too many questions today. You've had a long week, so just to give you an understanding, we'll do 5 questions today in these slides, okay? You have noticed that some of the team members are not working to agreed standards. There's a typing mistake. Agreed standards. You want to check we are following the process or not. What would you do? You're a project manager of a construction project. You've noticed that some of the team members are not working to agreed standard. You want to check whether the following process or not. What would you do? Quality audit. Very, very simple.
Yes.
You will conduct a quality audit. You won't do an audit for the whole organization. You won't do a senior management review. No, you don't have to. You don't have the authority to do that as a project manager. You won't do a customer audit, intellectual property. They won't let you do it. Quality audit. Yeah. Understand that? All right.
Yes.
Single line question. Right. Which one? You won't get many of those in the exam. All right. So which one of the following is not a goal of quality assurance? A, to ensure appropriate quality standards are being set up for the project. B, verify the project results comply with the relevant standard. C, ensure continuous quality improvement. D, confirm the project quality activities conform to quality policies and procedures.
Quality assurance. B, verify the project results. The results are not part of the assurance, or it means something else. Quality assurance. This is during the second phase, during the execution, right? Managing.
No, it's a part of the project management plan. I would say B. You're right. B. Verify the project results, because you don't have the project results. You have the deliverables that are being made. Project results is a wrong term, right? And you don't have it while you are actually executing the project. Right? You don't have the results yet, unless you're in an agile
project. The monitoring and control phase.
Exactly. Unless you're in an agile project, which is totally different. You get constant feedback. You get to define the backlog or not. Yeah. All right. So page 50. All right. Last line first. Which tool will help you in this case? You're working in an operational organization. That's important. Operation is day to day. It's not project based, right? It's non-metrics, right? And they've been reported a lot of errors in the past few months. You want to know to prioritize which issue should you focus on. Your goal is to target a big issue first, then you will go for the other issues. Which issue should you focus on first? Flowcharts. Why? Because you have to do 1 and 2 before you get to 3 and 4. That's the flow of the flowchart, right? So, and then because it's about which issue you should focus on first before your goal is to target a big issue first. I think flowchart analysis is the right answer. Matrix diagram is all complex. SWOT analysis you would know doesn't apply. Pareto 80-20, no. Yeah, you happy with flowchart?
Okay.
The answer? It should be the correct answer. Okay, what will you do? You're making a quality management plan. This is a state-of-the-art project. You're not sure which standards you can use for the project and how to compare the quality standards. You don't know how to compare the quality standards.
Statistical
Meeting the
sampling.
industry statistics sampling, no, because he's talking about the quality standards. Benchmarking are the industry standards. IBM is using this standard to manufacture their computers, for example, or point of sale systems or ATM. IBM is my industry benchmark. I'm NCR. I'm the next one on the line, or Diebold as a number 3. I have to say, if you if you're not sure which standards you can use benchmarking. If you're in a market where there's no ISO structure in place, fourth world country, okay, benchmark is the way to go. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't run charts. You don't use expert judgments, because that is from people who worked on projects previously, and you conduct their surveys and interviews now. Statistical sampling does not give you an industry standard. Would you agree to benchmarking being the answer?
Yes.
Last question. And then after that, we have a cheat sheet. All right, I'll let you read the cheat sheet because I'm half blind at the moment. So last slide. All right, Marina, we have which process tools need improvement to avoid such issue in the future? Which process or tool needs improvement to avoid such issue in the future? The client has rejected the deliverable. As you did root cause analysis, you find that it does not meet quality standards. Clients rejected it. You did the root cause analysis, so you know why it occurred, right? You find that it does not meet the quality standards as agreed with the client. Which processes or tool needs improvement to avoid such issue in the future? Hey, you need to manage quality better. We all know. Use Six Sigma to manage quality. Six Sigma is a measuring tool for quality. Control quality needs improvement. That's not a tool. Benchmark the right standards. It's not a tool. Six Sigma is a tool. Six Sigma is a measurement standard. 3.4 defective units per million manufactured. You can get a black belt in Six Sigma and work half an hour every day. That's another story. But yeah, I think B is the right answer. Would you agree to that?
Thank you. Yes.
You're most welcome. Do you have any questions with regards to this slide? It was a very short and sweet topic that we did. Do you have any questions?
So far, so good.
All right, let's take a break, and then we can come back in 5 to 7 minutes. Happy with that?
Yes.
All right. See you for procurement in a minute.
See you.
Thanks, sir. Okay.